Ladies and gentlemen, when I say the Toronto Raptors have just signed the greatest player of all time, I mean they have just signed the greatest player of all time, or at least maybe in the NBA is a little bit more of a fair assessment, because I still think there's some people out there who might argue that Michael Jordan is probably better than this guy. Now you might be wondering, who have the Toronto Raptors signed? Did they, of course, sign LeBron James? Did they just sign Steph Curry? Did they just sign Kevin Durant? No, they signed someone way better than those guys. He wears the 41. He is a very elite guy, offensively, defensively. He might have some shit tattoos. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna call this bloke out for his tats. I don't know what the hell he's got going on there, but who knows there. He recently starred in a movie where he got to play with Adam Sandler's balls, and this is of course being the man, the myth, the legend, Bo Cruzs, who was just signed with the Toronto Raptors, of course on a 1-year deal. This is an absolutely fantastic deal by them. Again, some people know him as Bo Cruzs. I mean, some other people know him as Hernan Gomez, but I'm pretty sure that's his stage name at this point. I don't think anyone refers to him, as that name at all. Again, this is an amazing story because Bo Cruzs lived in a very, very small country town or something in some Europe country. I don't remember. I'm going to be honest. I watched this movie a couple months ago. I can't even tell you where he lived. All I know is he had a little girl, and he got extremely angry every time Adam Sandler talked about wanting to do inappropriate things to his mother.
Your mom's a whore. What?
He would get that angry, he would brick the shit out of the backboard and would turn into Russell Westbrook and really turn into what Russell Westbrook. I mean, he was just throwing that shit at the backboard like it was absolutely insane. His head nearly developed into a Ninja Turtle, exactly how Russell Westbrook's head also looks like. And this was all over the fact that Adam Sandler said he was going to lick the inside and out of Bo Cruz's mum. And then again, this is all the news. Toronto Raptors have signed this guy. I expect him to start on 49.8 minutes per game, if I'm being completely honest. I remember there was a stat of Timothy Mozgov. I think he had like 100 points and 80 rebounds in a game or something. But that's nothing. Bo Cruzs will be able to break that record as soon as he steps into Toronto now. This is a pretty awesome thing. I just think he should be thanking Adam Sandler, because if it wasn't for all of those inappropriate jokes about Bo Cruz's mum's pancake titties, then he probably wouldn't be in the NBA right now, let alone being the best player in the NBA. So this is an absolutely awesome thing from him. And again, even the Toronto Raptors, man, like Hernan Gomez, now you bring him on the team, and yeah, he adds a lot of stuff. But again, alright, everyone, chill the fuck out. We're probably going to start the actual video now. What's going on, everyone? The Raptors have signed Hernan Gomez. This is a good move by the Raptors for a couple reasons. First of all, I don't think the Raptors' depth was extremely that good last year. Definitely not as much as what it probably is right now. The Raptors have always had, since last year, they've got like these 5 dudes that are really, really good and some of the best starters in the league. Pascal Siakam, Scotty Barnes, now he proved nearly everyone wrong, Fred VanVleet, OG Anunoby, and Gary Trent. And they really did a lot in, free agency. One thing that kind of let them down in the playoffs was they just didn't exactly have the greatest depth. They had a really kick-ass starting 5, but when it came to the depth thing, it just wasn't exactly working out. And again, they decided to go and, of course, bring in Otto Porter, which I think was a fantastic deal by them. He comes in on a 2-year deal worth, I think, about $4.5 million a year. That's, first of all, that's a really good one, because Otto Porter, I think, was the absolute steal of nearly last offseason, which I made a video on that last offseason, talking about just how good of, I think, an underrated 3-point shooter not only Otto Porter Jr. was, but also as a defender. And now he comes into this Toronto Raptors teams who love their players being able to switch 1 through 5 and just doing all that type of stuff. Again, he will add quite a bit there. They also brought back Chris Boucher, which I guess just remains, he's just a depth player for them. Cam Birch is still on the team. Again, they've just, of course, brought in the GOAT, Bo Cruzs, but also they still have the GOAT, DJ Wilson, on a $2 million contract, and Svi Mikhailuk, who is another GOAT. But even dudes like Amani, Brooks, who haven't been on this team, I think, a whole lot, and, of course, haven't really had necessarily the big amount of opportunity, could still do a lot for this team. Again, I believe the Raptors did re-sign him. I think he could have possibly been waived, but there's still rumors they might pick him up. I'm not exactly too sure what's going on there, but whether or not he remains on the team or not, I still think he could do something on a different team. That would be an interesting one. They've still got Precious Achura, which is a really cool option. They've just got a lot of these big man type of guys and a lot of dudes that can guard like 1 through 5. Again, you look at Otto Porter Jr., he'd be able to switch from 1 through 5. Precious is low-key not that bad at doing it. Scotty Barnes, of course, can. OG, of course, can. So can Pascal Siakam. And again, I even think Chris Boucher is low-key underrated at doing exactly that. A couple of things I think this team might need is maybe some guard depth. I think they desperately lack there. They've got Fred VanVleet at the 1. You'll also have Scotty Barnes, who won't start at the guard position, but I think he'll have a lot more of the ball in his hands next season. I guess you still got Gary Trent as well, who is technically more of a wing type of player than he is a guard. What the Raptors could be looking to do this season is still go a lot more taller. There even could be times where we literally see Otto Porter Jr. at the 2 sometimes next season. I wouldn't even be surprised if sometimes we see at the 1, they'll of course have Fred VanVleet. They'll even have Otto Porter Jr. at the 2, OG at the 3, Scotty Barnes in there, Pascal Siakam in there. It's really just positionless basketball. You'd like to say that Otto Porter or Scotty Barnes could be at that 2, but then you could literally probably see Scotty Barnes guarding the 5. So it's literally ridiculous how they're going to go about that. It's so awesome to see how great they do when it comes to positionless basketball. But there's also the fact that I still think they need a guard or 2. There are definitely guys out there. I think if you're looking for a nice shot creator to maybe come off that bench, you could look at Dennis Schroeder. The issue is he doesn't play necessarily that 1 through 5, which they would, of course, be looking at. Again, Fred VanVleet doesn't necessarily do it, but it's Fred VanVleet, man. He's literally an all-star. You're not going to care if he can't switch on the, on the 3 or anything like that, because it's man, he's a legit all-star. So it definitely, comes into it like that, where it just exactly doesn't matter. There's still DeLon Wright, who I don't think has been signed by an NBA team yet, who is a 6'5", 6'6" type of dude, and I'm completely wrong. Apparently, he signed a 2-year deal, $16 million, $8 million a year with the Washington Wizards, so you can literally kiss that goodbye. You're not getting DeLon Wright anymore. I'm not too sure what 6'5" type of guard that could necessarily be out there. I'm sure the Raptors, if they really needed to, would find some dude. But they've always got guys, and they always bring in new dudes that can do things. I think they brought in Ron Harper Jr. through the draft this year, or undrafted or something like that. And yeah, I believe, they undrafted him. I think they signed him to a 2-way deal. But he's a dude that can probably play that guard/wing position as well. Probably a guy that can switch 1 through 4 eventually. They've definitely got a lot of these guys coming onto the team. I do think maybe some guard depth would be handy here and there. Or at least a dude that can play as the guard but can also switch 1 through 4 to keep that Raptors system alive. I just think they're kind of looking for him. I don't necessarily think they know what player it's going to be yet. It is going to be a complicated one. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how that, of course, does unfold. But again, as I said, the Raptors, they signed Bo Cruzs. They also got, a DJ Wilson, who was another GOAT, Svi Mikhailuk. Literally the 3 best players in the NBA, if you ask me. That's going to be the new big 3 in Toronto. They're going to be that good that the NBA is going to be like, holy shit, we need another Toronto team just because we can't have this team winning a championship every year from these 3 GOATs. The next moves would be to, of course, sign Thon Maker. I know he's going to be very hard to get for them. He's going to be looking for the new Supermax. But again, I think he'd be another go they can, of course, bring into to help out this team and make it win the next 6 championships. So, this is going to be a really interesting thing. Of course, I definitely would like to know what you guys' thoughts and opinions are with the Toronto Raptors, of course, signing Juan Hernan-Gomez, aka Bo Cruz. Definitely let me know your thoughts and opinions on this down below. But of course, don't forget to subscribe to my gaming channel, Mario Cyclone channel, and my podcast as well. All of them will be linked in the description down below. But as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.